The chance to fight for the heavyweight championship is maddeningly elusive for its pursuers. Injury robbed Kirk Johnson of his chance just days before his June 21 date with Lennox Lewis. In an instant, the opportunity of a lifetime vanished.
They trade big right hands. Lewis gets the worst of it.
Enter Vitali Klitschko, who attempted to seize the moment.
Combinations for an increasingly confident Vitali Klitschko.
Until disaster turned up in the blink of an eye.
Someone is bleeding pretty good there.
And Vitali Klitschko's left eye is ripped up.
Smelling blood, the champion found his footing, but the challenger stood his ground.
It's just a Pier 6 brawl in there, guys. All-out war. Vitali's certainly ahead on points, but can he finish the fight with that eye?
Klitschko's moment of truth drowned in a garish crimson stream.
They're stopping the fight. They're stopping the fight because of the damage to Vitali Klitschko's eye.
Tonight, Vitali Klitschko looks to maintain the momentum from that eye-opening performance, while Kirk Johnson takes a step toward erasing the memory of his own misfortune. At stake for both, another chance to find out what could have been.
For his part, Vitali Klitschko had hoped he'd be fighting Lennox Lewis tonight. Lewis said, "I won't fight him until doctors certify that eye is okay." Klitschko says, "All the doctors have said that. Lewis is ducking me now." Kirk Johnson says, "I'm the guy who should fight Lennox Lewis. If I'd gotten the chance back in June when that torn pectoral muscle knocked me out, I'd have knocked Lewis out within 4 rounds. Anybody can see that from the way Lewis fought." So now let's get ready for this showdown between two men who both believe they can become the champion in the post-Lewis heavyweight era. George Foreman, Vitali Klitschko in his 2 biggest fights against Chris Bird and Lennox Lewis was leading on the scorecards in both fights before those fights were brought to conclusion by Klitschko injuries. How do you size him up off of those 2 performances?
Well, they say when in Rome, he did the right thing for Europe. When you're hurt, you do a sensible thing. You just sit down and come back for another day. When you're in America, you got to fight through adversity, cut, clean out, get up and fight. He's proven to me that he is the right kind of fighter. Tonight, let's just hope injuries do not reoccur.
You make a great point. He was stunned at the criticism he took from American boxing writers when he retired against Bird because the shoulder was legitimately hurt. So then he fought the way he did in Los Angeles, partially to prove them wrong, right?
Yeah, and he did. I mean, the guy's got everything he needs. Can he escape these injuries that seems to follow him around?
All right, let's turn to Larry Merchant. Larry, in his biggest fight, an opportunity to gain a heavyweight title belt against John Ruiz, Kirk Johnson imploded and self-destructed, losing the fight ultimately on a series of what seemed like senseless fouls. How do you size up Kirk Johnson?
First, with a truck scale and a wide-angle lens, because he weighed in the other day at 260 pounds. He was swaddled in some sweat clothes, but that's still much higher than his highs, which are a little bit too high to begin with, in the past. So, Krispy Kreme breath, why would you do such a thing? He says that because he melted down against Ruiz in the ring, because he had melted down outside of the ring by overtraining. Coming into this fight, conventional wisdom was that because of his quickness and his boxing skills, that Johnson has a real chance at an upset. Now that he's melted up, who knows?
Well, we're about to find out. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for these 2 big modern-era style heavyweights. Klitschko, 32 years old. Johnson, 1 year younger. 5-inch height advantage for Vitali and a 2.5-inch advantage in arm length measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. And look at the weights. Again, these are 21st century heavyweights. Klitschko at 250, Johnson weighing in at a perhaps terribly indiscreet 260. rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Vitali Klitschko Kirk Jensen fight is scheduled for 12 rounds, non-title, using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. The doctor or the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including
In this slow motion walk to the ring.
Well, he's never been the kind of personality who elicits enormous excitement outside the ring. His big moments in the ring usually come from counter shots fired at odd angles against fighters who underestimate this big man's quickness and slickness.
Now, George, you don't think it's a bad thing that a fighter like a big heavyweight doesn't try to get into perfect shape?
Well, 1 year perfect shape is 1 pound, and next year perfect shape is another pound with the heavyweight. He's got Curtis Cope, who really believes in this counter punching anyway, so it's not like he needed to lose a lot of weight to do that.
Who now lives in Beverly Hills and is being idolized on both continents.
We haven't mentioned the crowd much, but it's been blizzarding in New York for 2 days. They were expecting upwards of 11 or 12,000 fans. They've got a crowd here maybe of 10 or 11. Quite amazing given the conditions outside.
And suddenly the arena has erupted with Ukrainian flags, which are light blue and yellow. There are even some Russian flags on display here. The Klitschkos are frequently referred to in American media as being Russian. Their father was a Soviet Air Force colonel in the helicopter division. They were raised in the Soviet Union sports program and really were the last 2 major products off the assembly line of the Soviet Union's amateur boxing machine. Now let's go to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden here in New York City, as it is time for our featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Duba Boxing and Vitali Klitschko's promoter, Universum Box Promotions, in association with the undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser, Bets.com, and Pacific Entertainment Group. This special attraction is a heavyweight eliminator for the #1 ranking, sanctioned by the WBC President Jose Sulaiman, Supervisor Juan Sanchez, along with the New York State Athletic Commission, the Chairman Ron Scott Stevens. Introducing our judges, scoring the bout from ringside. From Brick, New Jersey, Tom Kazmarek. From Ardsley, New York, Melvina Lathan. And from Yorktown Heights, New York, Fred Ucci. And our third man to the ring, the referee in charge. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Arthur Mercanti. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the bout you've all been waiting for. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Madison Square Garden, it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing black trunks with white trim, hailing from North Preston, Nova Scotia in Canada. He weighed in at 260 pounds even. His fine record stands at 34 wins, 1 defeat, 1 draw, with 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the #5 ranked heavyweight in the world by the WBC, introducing Kirk Johnson. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, this 12-round main event, wearing black trunks with gold trim, hailing from Kiev, Ukraine. His weight, 250 pounds even. His record stands Ladies and gentlemen, currently ranked the WBC #1 contender. Please welcome the former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, introducing Vitali Klitschko. Once again, Arthur Mercanti, our referee, now to give instructions.
Good evening, Kirk. Good evening, Vidal. You received the rules early in the night by the New York State Athletic Commission. I want a nice, clean fight. Touch gloves. Good luck to the both of you.
Klitschko and his cut man both insist that the cut, that terrible wound over his left eye, has fully healed in 6 months, and that it did not interfere at all in his training. We shall see.
You saw two of the great cutmen in the last fight, Jimmy Glenn and Al Gavin. Joe Souza, the man who worked that cut for Vitali in Los Angeles, is also in the upper echelon of boxing cutmen. Kirk Johnson coming in, trying to go for broke with big shots, and Klitschko bangs him straight up the middle with the left hand.
This is not what we were led to believe Johnson would do. Maybe he was just coming out in the first moment to
and
give some
warning. Lands a right hand over the top, straight onto Johnson's chin.
Klitschko should go right for the body. Klitschko, go right for the body. Make him prove that he's in shape with that midsection. And that's what you got to do when you see a guy like that who's normally not in that kind of shape.
Klitschko, as he showed against Lewis, George, doesn't throw many body punches. He's a headhunter.
This is when he should go to the body, because this guy, if he's really out of shape, you got to bring it out of him, make him quit.
Big right hand by Klitschko backs Johnson up into the ropes.
Klitschko even now is aiming at the head. He should be aiming at the body.
Crowd thinks Vitali can get a first-round knockout the way he's been able to land against Johnson. Misses over the top with the right hand. This is an extremely aggressive Vitali Klitschko. Normally, he's much more cautious than this in the early going.
He's got to go to the body. You're not going to be able to hit Kirk Johnson in the head right off.
And there's a good body shot by Johnson. As Johnson tried a big right hand, looping it, Klitschko again stepped in and popped him right up the middle.
This is not classic big punching. This is punching from the rafters.
The good thing about Klitschko, if he keeps the pressure on this guy, make him keep throwing a lot of punches, Kirk Johnson could give out easily. Johnson should be moving a little more, because you don't want to just get hit just because the guy is in front of you.
Does Johnson have an abrasion already by his right eye?
Why is the right eye so red?
I think this comes with the package.
Left hand lands for Klitschko. Bangs Johnson into the corner. Left hand lands again. Good hook.
If you're Klitschko, you don't want to totally disrespect the contender.
Johnson has landed a couple of good-sized body shots. His best offense in the round.
6 months is not enough time for that right eye to heal. Doesn't matter what they say.
What's behind that head?
There's one right to the body. When a guy's ducking and dodging, you go to the body to make him start protecting his body. Then you can get the head.
Both fighters swung big in round one. Klitschko landed more. And when we go to Vitali Klitschko's corner, where Fritz Sedunik will speak German, our interpreter is Jens Halling.
You're doing very good. Be careful when he comes with his right. You gotta can you see him when he comes with his right? You gotta use your left. You did very good the last round.
Give him the hard jab. Give him my jab, baby. You all right? You all right? But you want to fight him a little bit now. You got to fight him a little bit. Jab, right hand, hook. Come on, baby. Good job. Use that jab. Use that jab, baby. Come on, Curtis.
We didn't see a lot of Johnson jabbing in round one, so you heard both Curtis Coates and Lou Duva saying, please use the jab. CompuBox numbers were a wipeout. 26 out of 57 for Klitschko. Johnson, 5 out of 38. Johnson, given credit by CompuBox for throwing 23 jabs in the first round, but he only landed 3.
Is Klitschko inviting that big right hand the way he holds his left?
No doubt about it. He got that hand, and he's bending his knee, which is worse. If you're going to drop your hand, keep your height up high. Stand high on your legs. He's bending his knees and he's dropping his left hand.
There's a big left hand by Kirk Johnson.
Johnson's corner told him to jab. That's not a good idea with this guy's right hand. He'll come over right on top of that jab. Klitschko can get you.
Two extremely experienced boxing men telling Johnson to jab, and George says that's not a good idea.
Not a good idea. You want a combination and get out of the way, hold him whenever you can, but don't exchange jabs. He'll get you. It's like Bob Gibson coming off that mound with that straight right hand. There it is, see? It hurts.
Dropping the right hand over the jab, just as George Foreman said he would.
You got to move. Left, right.
Klitschko just missed with a right hand that might have knocked Johnson into next week.
Klitschko's got to forget that he was in a fight with Lennox Lewis. This is a totally different opponent. Respect him in another way.
Italy landing a good left to the body. Missing with the right hand. But Johnson shying away from the right hand and giving Vitali another chance.
Klitschko is waiting for that left hand to just drop.
Vitali fighting with tremendous confidence. Chasing Johnson into the corner and pounding with the right hand. Crowd goes nuts. Got him again. Stunned with the left. Johnson's in trouble. Oh, big trouble.
4, 5, 6, 7. Walk to me, Kirk.
Nobody has ever done this to Kirk Johnson in 12 years as a pro.
You want to see a heavyweight destroyer? Vitali Klitschko wants to be your man. He wants to be your man right now. Big right hand lands again. Johnson having trouble fighting back. Down goes Johnson.
That's it.
Arthur McCarthy's going to stop the fight. That is it.
That whale was just harpooned.
Big time. And that is a great performance for Vitali Klitschko.
I like it when they knocked him out. There's no questions from the judges, no referee interference, clean knockout. That's the way I scored him.
Now we have to wonder, how does Lennox Lewis see this? Does he see it as an opportunity for a major pay-per-view event? Or does he see it as an opportunity to go quietly into the sunset with his career?
What a turnaround.
Right there before, and he let the fight get away. It seemed tonight he was thinking, I'm not letting it get away. I'm going for a knockout. Kirk Johnson.
What an aggressive performance by Vitali. He sensed that this was his moment, and he seized it. Tremendous.
Kirk Johnson, he knocked out the barbecue ribs.
Well, the year began as badly as possible for the Klitschko family, as younger brother Vladimir, considered the more gifted of the two fighters, crumbled in a heap in 2 rounds against Corey Sanders in Germany. Now Vitali Klitschko helps to erase some of that memory as he folds Kirk Johnson up in 2
I like
rounds.
it because he was brave enough to come back in 6 months after that eye is not even...
Congratulations, Vitali. Were you surprised that he wanted to stand there and exchange with you instead of boxing you?
Actually, together with my team, we developed 3 situations. Kirk Johnson starting very aggressive. His first situation. His second one, he will be sometime aggressive, sometime defensive. In first situation, he will be very defensive and make some attack every round, every end of rounds.
So you were prepared for that kind of aggression. Did you want to knock him out early? Did you want to make a big statement being in the position you are in the heavyweight division tonight?
Yes, of course. It's a motivation for me to be world champion. Actually, I was prepared to be world champion in June 21, 6 months ago against Lennox Lewis. Just can't stop me in fight. Right now, I was 100% ready for this fight and big motivation to fight against Lennox Lewis. I don't know. Lennox Lewis, I'm sure. Lennox, hi. I know you see this fight. You see it right now by TV and show this fight. And I hope the fight against Lennox Lewis will be. Or not, it's...
If not, you might fight Corey Sanders, who beat your brother.
Yes, it's a very interesting fight because behind this fight, very interesting story. Corey Sanders beat my brother. One time I fight against Ross Purity and beat him. Chris Bird won. I tore my ligament in my shoulder. And the next fight, Vladimir beat Chris Bird. And right now, it's part third.
Have you gained, even at your age and having been a prize fighter so long, have you gained some confidence from how you performed against Lennox Lewis?
I don't want to open the play. When fight will be in the future against Lennox Lewis, when Lennox Lewis will be not retired, I promise for everybody I beat Lennox. I give my best to beat him. Lennox is great champion. He's history of boxing. And to fight against great champion and to beat him, it's my dream.
It seems that you wanted to end the fight before any injury could end it against you. Because in your other two big fights against Bird and Lewis, when you were ahead, you had to retire with injuries. No chance of an injury tonight.
Wolltest den Kampf schnell beenden, damit nicht wie in den großen Kämpfen wie Bird und Lewis eine Verletzung auftritt bei dir?
Actually, I was prepared for all 12 rounds. For defensive work from Kirk Johnson, for all 2 rounds. I was in great condition right now. And I was prepared for hard fight. Kirk Johnson coming to me, want to fight. Come on.
One last question. Were you surprised so many Ukrainians from this area came here to Madison Square Garden?
I know in the United States and Canada, very big diaspora
community,
really big Russian and Ukrainian community. It's not just the United States. It's many my friends coming from Germany, coming from Russia, coming from Ukraine to support me in this fight.
Thank you again. Congratulations.